Living in interesting times, a recent poll has showed that 50% of Americans have at least considered relocating within the next few years. This is because of the cost of living and also what's going on with the tensions here in the United States.
I'm Rachel, and my husband and I are leaving behind a 6-figure income to move abroad, unemployed, in 44 days. But before that, we are leaving behind our home in Seattle, where we've lived with our 2 dogs for 12 years, packing up our car, driving across the country to spend the entire month of August with our families in Massachusetts. And that's happening in 8 days, so things are getting real around here. I know a lot of you are going to want to know why, and the short version is we burned out hard chasing the version of success that we're all sold here in the US. And eventually, my husband and I kind of looked at each other and just said, what if we did this differently? And what if we kind of put our trust in the universe that things are going to work out? So we are packing up our life, our 2 dogs, and we are flying to Italy to try something a little bit slower, a little bit softer, something that feels more honest.
Well, we're looking at leaving. We're going to look at Canada and Portugal. Those are the 2 places we're looking. I can't even believe that I have to say this, but I am not going to sit and wait and hope that what we're seeing unfold doesn't actually happen. I'm not. I'm almost 60. What does that give me? Another 25, 30 years? I'm just keeping it real here. I don't want to live it like this. It's just not, no, I don't want to. And so do I want to leave my country? No. But my country kind of disappeared around 2015. And now it's unrecognizable to me. And so we're going to do a little research. We've got our Go stuff packed, all our documentation. We are going to check out Canada first, probably come back here. Go check out Portugal, come back here. Maybe Turkey. I'm not sure. It depends. Yeah, I mean, can you, it's like mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Hi, my name is Chelsea, and we moved to the Netherlands from Michigan in 2 weeks from yesterday. So, yeah, I haven't said anything on this app because I haven't really been on this app. We've been planning this for about 2 years now. We have 3 kids and a dog, and me and my husband, and we are moving to the Netherlands. And we both quit our corporate jobs of 14 years, and I'm going all in on my own business, which is kind of like content. I do videos and photos for myself as well as for other people and other companies. And yeah, I'm just going all in on myself. Kind of scary. Kind of exciting.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If you want to do something in life, you want to do it ahead of the curve because you're going to have advantages if you do something before the masses do. And right now, with a lot of people thinking about leaving the United States, if this is something that you're considering as well, you know, it might be a good time to kind of start getting your ducks in order, or at least doing some research. And we all have to ask ourselves, what is the line in the sand? What's the line in the sand for you? Is it when prices of everything just goes up so much that you can't afford it anymore? Is it when you can't afford your rent, your mortgage? Is it when civil unrest potentially erupts everywhere? Comment down below if you actually right now know what the line in the sand is for you, because I'm curious to hear from people that are watching this video, what will be their breaking point?
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable. And there are people that they know this, but then they'll still look at somebody else that's struggling and then tell them they're not doing good enough. I want you to imagine somebody that makes $75,000 a year. That's a pretty high up wage in terms of like top earners in this country, $75,000 a year. And we're going to go through some things here. This is a person with no debt outside of a car. And please don't hit me with the, you can go buy a car for, shut up, you can't, shut up, stop saying ridiculous things. An entry level decent car is $30,000. So this person who puts $200 a month into insurance and they pay 5% into their 401k because shut up, people should be able to put money into their retirement. Because if you're not doing it now, you're never going to get to start doing it later. So after those 2 things come out of their paycheck and their taxes are paid, they bring home $53,850 a year from a $75,000 paycheck. Average rent in my state for a 1-bedroom apartment, because an adult should be able to live by themselves, $1,700. That car payment at 6% for an entry-level, very reasonable sedan, nothing fancy, that car payment's $579 a month. Car insurance, $240 or so a month for a lot of vehicles in this day and age. You're a young person, you've got a nice job, but the insurance companies still want to screw you over. Food. You only cook at home. You never, ever go out. You only cook at home, and you only eat decent quality food, because a human being should be allowed to eat decent quality food. You pay $879 a month for that. You spend $250 a month in gas. You wear and tear on your car $100 a month. $80 for your phone, $80 for your internet, $175 a month for your electricity, $70 for your water, $20 for your cash. You make $75,000 a year, and outside of a car payment, you have zero debt. Do you know how much money you have left over annually at a $75,000 wage? You do nothing. You don't own a Netflix. You don't go out on a date. You don't pay to go to a park. You don't go watch a movie. You do nothing. If you can't find it on the internet for free, you don't get to do it. If you can't cook it at home for your $800, you don't get to do it. You have $3,700 left over annually. That's like $320 a month. And there's going to be, well, that's $300. Shut up. Shut your stupid, contrarian, edgelord mouth. That's not a doctor bill, because God knows, just because we have insurance doesn't mean that we don't still pay far out the ass when we go to the doctors. People like to be entertained. They want to date. They want to... There's those of you out there that will tell somebody living like this on $75,000 a year before taxes that they are not doing what they're supposed to do, that they should get a second job, that they should get a side hustle, that they should get a better job. And the fact that you would look at somebody with no debt other than a car and say something like this to them means, objectively, you're a moron and you live in a fantasy world. This is unsustainable.
I want to be real clear when I say this. I think I speak for everybody lately. We don't mind working. We do mind working our asses off and not being able to live. It's not about being ungrateful. It's about our reality. Our dollar doesn't stretch like it used to. And now we're expected to get roommates, pick a side hustle, drive for Uber, sell shit online, just to keep the lights on and food in the fridge. This isn't a work ethic problem. This is a fucked economy problem. Well, one job used to be enough. Now it's not even close. But instead of fixing that, they tell us, work harder, get a better job, stop whining. Nah, bro, fuck that. You gutted the middle class. You let rent skyrocket. You made healthcare unaffordable. Groceries are insane. Utilities go up. And then you look us in the eye and say we're the issue. You can't gaslight an entire generation into thinking they're broken just because the system doesn't work anymore. And we're done pretending this is normal. I've said this many fucking times. We don't hate work. We hate giving everything we've got and still falling behind.
For me, I realized that this country, the system they have was never going to work for me. When I was already working 5 jobs, still couldn't fucking pay my bills, still couldn't afford food, still couldn't afford gas. I literally had to fucking steal groceries at the grocery store just to eat. When it got that fucking bad, and I'm literally working non-fucking stop. No days off. I work 7 days a week, 5 fucking jobs. When I was not working my 3 scheduled jobs, I was working my 2 to 3 side hustles on the side, and I still was not making ends meet. The shit is crazy to me. I don't know how people live like this. I don't know how people just be okay living like this. I don't know how y'all are I don't know. Everybody's situation different, I guess. But when I reached that point and I was I still have to fucking steal food just to eat, and I'm working 5 jobs, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I just was what's the point? What the fuck am I doing? What is the purpose here? Where are we getting to here? Because it's when you're doing that and you're always behind, you're never gonna get ahead. What the fuck? You're never gonna get ahead. You're never gonna ever have money to save towards a goal, towards anything, towards a vacation, towards a car, towards escape. You're never gonna have any money to save. So it's just what's the point? And it's so many little minuscule problems that add up. The fact that they just don't pay us enough here. They don't pay us enough. Everything is just high inflated. It's way too expensive. Food, fucking housing, grocery, everything is just expensive. Gas, then there's no health benefits. People can't even afford to fucking be sick. Y'all are overworking us, and we can't even afford to be fucking sick from being overworked. People can't afford health insurance. People can't afford education to try to get a better job. It's just a trap. Literally living in America is jail. Literally. I don't care what nobody say. This shit is a jail. You think you're free, but you're not really free.
772,000. That's not a typo. That's how many folks are currently living on the streets in the so-called richest country in the world. And y'all want us to believe this is just the system working? Nah, the system is broken, and broke again. Let's break it down. Homelessness just hit a record high in the U.S. That's an 18% spike from last year alone. And family homelessness up 39%. Families, not just individuals. Moms, dads, kids sleeping in cars, on benches, under bridges. What's causing it? Sky-high rent, stagnant wages. Then you got post-COVID economic chokeholds. And a government that got no problem spending billions overseas, but freezes up when it's time to house its own people. And don't get it twisted. This ain't just a bad economy issue. This is a policy failure. No cap. There are more empty homes in America than homeless people. Let that sink in. But instead of tackling housing reform or raising the minimum wage, we're watching politicians bicker like it's a Twitter beef while folks are freezing in tents. This ain't the American dream. This is an American eviction notice. And the wildest part, the media will run this headline and keep it pushing. No national emergency, no federal task force, just another day in the land of get yours or die trying. We need rent control, mental health support, jobs that pay a livable wage, and leaders who actually give a damn. Because homelessness isn't a crime, but letting this continue should be. Follow your boy Crypto Black. See you next time.
Life in America feels worse for millions of people in 2025 for several different reasons. First of all, daily life just feels exhausting. People are working endlessly to make ends meet, and they're not even making ends meet. Households have to have 2 incomes to be able to pay the bills. And it's not enough if you're just even making $20 an hour anymore. People that are making 6 figures are saying that they're having a hard time. Now, where you live does have a lot to do with that. If you are in the city, if you are more rural in the country, are you in a very expensive state? Are you in a cheaper state? We live in a cheaper state because of this reason. We decided to leave Texas in an area that did have a pretty affordable cost of living, but we decided to move to Oklahoma because it's even cheaper to live here because of this reason. And you have to make changes like that right now. People are needing to vote with their feet. Originally, I'm from California, and we left there years ago because of what is happening with the cost of living, amongst a lot of other things that's going on there in the state.
Living in America is becoming a nightmare. I'm waiting until my son turns 5 because I need to be someplace where I have peace of mind. And this country is starting to just be a nightmare. And I don't want to raise my son in this country anyway. His father is African and he's from Nigeria. I'm not saying I'm moving to Africa. I'm saying that I want to move someplace where I would be at peace. This country is starting to be a lot of bit overwhelming. And I don't want to raise my son here anyway. America is no longer the land of the free. No American dream left here. It's literally an American nightmare. I'm getting out of this country soon. I've already narrowed it down to the places that I want to go. Just going to make that choice and prepare and plan. And in a few years, I'm not going to be in America. I know that for a fact.
You know, I think more and more about leaving the U.S. every day. I'm not going to lie to you. I've seen people making all these videos about moving overseas, whether it's China, whether it's Indonesia, whether it's, wherever they're moving to, and they're living such a beautiful life. Now, granted, I understand that everything ain't what it appears to be, but something's got to give, I'm inclined to believe that these people are living better than they are living here in the U.S. And the reality is, I got more than enough money saved up right now to get the hell up out of here if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I don't exactly know how people do it when they have family behind and stuff, but I guess you really got to be selfish in order to find happiness. This one guy that I follow tells me that, China helps Americans, with housing and stuff like that, and everything is so affordable, like they just really going out their way to help Americans move out there. To me, I'm thinking, like, what the hell makes someone to live in China of all places? China's so overpopulated and stuff like that. But this dude, he makes all his content talking about what his experience is like living in China. And then I have other dudes who, you know what I'm saying, who talk about what their experience is like living in Bali, Indonesia. Like, you know, in some countries, if you want to own a vehicle, you only make one payment for auto insurance. Just one. And that covers you for the whole year. Now, mind you, this ain't no payment of $5,000 or nothing like that. This is a payment of a couple $100, if that. Not like here in America where you making payments every fucking month. That's killing your pockets. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I'm giving this some deep thought. Like, honestly, I ain't really trying to do this shit no more. America, y'all gotta do better.
I'm calling it. Time to go. Time to leave the U.S. because the American dream is, in fact, a nightmare. You see, the cold hard truth is that the United States is an irreversibly racist country. It was built on racism. It was built on white supremacy. The irony of Doge coming in, being the harbinger, telling us to get the fuck out of Dodge is not lost on me. So apropos. Time to go. We've always had it in the back of our heads, but everything is screaming at me. Get out while you still can, and we'll figure out the rest later. Because the Constitution means fuck all. We have no First Amendment rights. We have no due process. Even people who have been here for decades, legal green card residents, are being disappeared for dissenting. And my mom already went through this in Argentina in the 1970s with the dirty war. My family came to the U.S., went back to Argentina, came back to the U.S., and now we will be leaving again. Because as much as I wanted to fight for the idea of the American dream, there is zero quality of life anymore. Zero. Our mental health is shot, our finances are shot, and we have no rights. So I'm calling it. And do I actually have the means to be able to get out? No, because I'm 5 days within my eligibility to still renew my passport online, and I'm going to have to beg, borrow, and steal to be able to do that. Not to mention I still have to get new passports for the kids, because kids' passports, once they expire, you have to get a whole new one. Our one saving grace is that we bought a house in 2017. Would we be able to afford to keep it? No, so we would have to rent it out. Do we want to sell it? And nope, because we'd lose everything. We wouldn't be able to afford to come back if things do get better. Keep trying to rationalize it in my head. Okay, we can, rent it out, cover just what the mortgages, don't make anything on it because we're not assholes, and give somebody else a safe place to be, or a safer-ish place to be here in California, and we could go back to our home country. But see, I still feel guilty about that. I don't have the means to go, but have a place to go if I could get there. Yes. Is it going to upend everything and our kids and learn a new language? But it's better than being drafted and living in this shit show. And honestly, calling the United States a shit show is being way too fucking nice, because this is a dystopian fucking nightmare hellscape that we are in. The dumpster fire was 5 years ago. This is the ashes. Yes, we would have to start over. My husband is worried about uprooting the kids, as he was uprooted from Panama when he was 10 years old. However, they would have much better quality of education, much better quality of food, much better quality of health care, to say the least. The country isn't filled with racist assholes because every family has every color. They wouldn't have to worry about growing up in a police state. They wouldn't have to worry about active shooter drills. We could replace our bulletproof backpacks with mosquito nets to protect against dengue. He's worried about me not being able to have the Lord's lettuce in another country. However, I think my health issues might lessen and become more tolerable if my central nervous system wasn't shot from all the fucking crazy. The cold hard truth is that the United States is an irreversibly racist country. It was built on racism. It was built on white supremacy. All y'all palm color folk that look like me, you refuse to make anything better for everybody because you don't want to pay for taxes that would help other people in your community, whether they look like you or not, because you know what? When everybody does better, everybody does better. Everybody has a little bit more money to spend. Everybody has a little bit more money to spend with you. But this country is racist. And I'd rather go to a country full of brown people who would maybe side-eye me, but I'll still be okay. Now that's an aha to unpack. I'd rather be side-eyed as a palm-colored person in a brown country than being currently a palm-colored person and having to side-eye every palm-colored person, because I don't trust you for shit.
I just saw a really unfortunate news report. As somebody with kids who really values the safety of my children, that was a huge factor when I decided to take my family and start our journey of trying to find a new home outside of the United States. And what happened this morning in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where we used to live, is exactly why we're doing that. And I know that these kind of things can happen anywhere in the world, but I do know that they happen more frequently there. And it's really unfortunate. It's not the way it should be. And if there are any parents out there who are thinking maybe they want to go and seek life somewhere maybe a little safer, it is possible. You can do it, and your kids will adjust. They might even be happier. Don't be afraid, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about it or doing it. It was a little difficult at first, still a little difficult, but definitely worth it.
Also, low-key, I'm so excited to leave the United States of America. You guys, I cannot stand living here. The amount of ignorance I've endured since I've been here has been too much. I need to be in a place where they actually value foreign languages. They value multicultural diversity. Here it seems like it's not being as valued and emphasized, unfortunately, because with the Make America Great Again, the whole MAGA administration, it seems they want to make everything Americanized. What the hell is Americanized in the first place? Like, I don't understand what Americanized means.
Is anyone else completely sick and tired of living in America, where you're expected to work your entire life? Like, we are not here to work. Our jobs are not our lives. Our jobs are not our purpose. Like, everyone asks me, like, what's your job? What are you doing with your life? Like, I'm just trying to save enough and get passive income so I can go travel the world and start my life. Like, everyone thinks their purpose is to work. Like, you get done with high school, then you go to college for 4 years, then you're $30,000 in debt, and then you're trying to find a job just so you can pay off that debt over the next 3 years. And then what? Then you're making enough money just to pay your mortgage and afford groceries and then pay for kids. And then before you know it, you're 60 and you're retiring and your body hurts because of your job and you didn't do anything that you wanted to do. And that's our life. That's what you're expected to do. And if you break out of that, then people are going to judge you and think you're weird or you're crazy or you're a hippie. I'm so sick of it. America needs to make a change. Something needs to change because people are not happy here. People are not living their dreams. People are not living their life. They are working. They think that their work is their life. It is not that way.
Literally 90% of the people I come across is talking about leaving America, whether it's in real life or online. So many people are talking about leaving America. Even people who are white, straight, male, female, like who are a little bit less affected by what's going on, are talking about leaving America. Like, people are so uncomfortable. So many people want to leave this country. Never in a million years would I have thought that this would be a thing. Like, I've been talking about leaving America for like the last 1 or 2 years, but like in the last few months, like there are people in droves wanting to leave America. I personally want to leave because the stress of everything going on is just too much, and why have to deal with that if I don't have to? But I'm curious, like, why is everybody else leaving? I feel like I have an idea, but why is everybody else leaving?
Americans are leaving America, and it is not for vacation. It's for survival. A growing wave of Americans are packing up, terrified by Trump's dictatorship, Republican fascism, and Democrats' capitulation. Interracial couples, LGBT plus individuals, people of color, and intelligent people in general are seeing their rights replaced with restrictions. In Ireland, U.S. passport applications hit their highest level in a decade, up 60% in just 2 months. France is seeing long-term stay visas for Americans up 20%. Portugal, Spain, UK, relocation companies can barely keep up with the demand. Traffic to Blacksit Global, which helps Black Americans relocate, surged 50% after the election. Some are leaving quietly, like a trans couple in Colorado, because Trump wrongly says there are only two genders. States are moving to ban gender care, so they're planning their exit. Google searches for how to leave the U.S. spiked after the election, and real estate deals for Americans in Spain surged before the Golden Visa program was shut down. European culture is different than American culture, and many won't adjust. And of course, Europe has its issues. Immigrations, taxes. Putin expected to take Moldova and then Romania with his eyes on the rest of Europe for the new Russian Empire. But a possibility of another European war is a safer bet than staying in a country that is already a fascist dictatorship.
Americans are leaving the country. I checked a bunch of different sites, and visa applications for European countries are 30 to 80% increase in the last since November of last year. And Google searches for visa-related questions, queries, all that stuff is up 1,500%. That's a pretty clear sign. It's not just joking anymore. If applications themselves are up, by 30 to 60 to 80 to whatever it is, up, depending on the country, yeah, people are leaving. Ever since this Orange administration started their Project 2025, it's out. We're out.